I can introduce this one.
Do you really want to?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to remember the line real quick.
Welcome back to the We Should Talk More podcast, the podcast where two lifelong friends who don't have much in common try to get a little bit closer. My name is John, and I don't have time to wait for my co-host to remember our tagline. And also, I have a secret.
Go for it.
And that secret is...
You don't want to tell.
Go ahead, Josh.
Do you just want to cut me off again?
No, I want you to do your thing.
You definitely want to cut me off.
No, I don't.
Jesus, man. Hi. My name is Josh Cornell. And today, I'm going to teach you how to make $1 million in 6 days.
That's great. Welcome back.
Are you going to ask about it?
I don't care. I don't care.
They do. This is what they're listening for.
How are you going to teach us this?
Well, let's get on to this episode.
You motherfucker. All right, guys. This is the episode you've all been waiting for. And you know what? I'm going to dim the lights. Check this out.
Trying to get a little bit more intimate.
A little more intimate. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. New tagline. Proposal.
We're continuing the thing that everyone loves the most, our dating series, the dating saga, the dating actually it's not really a trilogy anymore because it got broken up.
Yeah,
a couple parts, and this would be the fourth part anyways.
Yeah, it would have never been a trilogy. Yeah. Originally, that
franchise.
Was the intent. Yeah, the franchise.
The dating cinematic universe.
Now,
callback.
We are wrapping it up to where we are today.
That's right.
I mean, we might come back in a few months and give some updates as to anything that might change, but this is the wrap up of the cinematographic arcs that we've put together in the beginning. Is it not?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
Good luck with spreading that out.
I'm not gonna even bother captioning that one. But yeah, I mean, people love these episodes.
They do.
Millions of views. So we got to give the people what the people want.
100%. Not only that, but if you're listening and you got a great story, email us at shouldtalkmore@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Almost forgot it. shouldtalkmore@gmail.com.
That's
email
a great point.
us. Yeah, and send a proposal. We'll have you on.
Oh,
what we will consider to have you
or
on.
we can answer any of your questions. If you have dating questions, that might be a cool thing to do one day, like just fielding a couple of dating advice questions.
Mm-hmm.
And they
I have another suggestion. Let's set up a marriage inbox.
We should.
Yeah,
we should. And they can send proposals
to get married with us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested,
oh my god! Marrying, and then since we're like best friends, we would have, like, let's say some girl wants to marry you, we'd have them on, and I would just grill her because like I have to approve.
Okay.
Right, and then vice versa.
Oh, well, that's really putting a lot of pressure on that person.
Well, listen, you got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly.
You gotta let them know. I'm not gonna be nice.
That's not a bad idea. So if you're looking to enter into our marriage inbox and be considered to be on an episode where you get grilled and roasted, email us at shouldtalkmore@gmail.com. We'll throw it into our marriage inbox folder that I have set up. And we'll review it together. And we'll get somebody on.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Start sending in your submissions today. Want to get on?
Yeah, let's cut down to brass tacks. My catchphrase of the podcast. I don't even feel like saying it anymore. I just have to say it contractually.
You didn't say it the past 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. So I'm bringing it back.
Where are we today?
Where are we, guys? We're back in our home set. I'm back home.
Yep. San Diego.
Back in San Diego. Josh flew all the way here for me. We haven't filmed here. I don't remember the last episode. Might have been like 3 weeks or 4 weeks already.
The time I had the big pimple on my face.
Oh my god, yeah,
That's what it was.
God, that massive fucking pimple. Yeah,
It was your dating
it was
episode.
Disgusting. Yeah,
You were dressed up.
God,
You're
that was
looking.
disgusting.
You're looking fancy.
Oh yeah, I was in a tux.
You're fresh.
Yeah,
And look at you
I was
today.
at a wedding. Oh, yeah.
Sweatpants.
Did I get a hat? Oh, I didn't. Oh,
You don't have a hat
I'm
on.
really breaking my
You're
theme.
really letting yourself go.
Well, guys, we are gonna do this similarly to how we have done our middle school and our high school dating episodes. Josh and I broke down the remainder of our post-college dating history into, I guess, 3 major phases. And then when we're done going through those phases, we're going to touch on what we're currently looking for. So I think Josh made a good point where I guess the idea would be, having spoken about what we've experienced recently, that's how we're getting to what we're looking for now.
Yeah,
So give context.
we're constantly evolving.
Yeah, because that can always change.
Mm-hmm. And we're just becoming
Better people.
more upright men.
Okay. And then we'll close off talking about current challenges that we're experiencing with dating. That'll be interesting. And definitely, like Josh mentioned, if there's anything that we talk about, especially with like challenges or anything that you want us to dive more into in a separate episode, because I think we have sort of in our minds to do something maybe about ghosting and like
Just
going into
dating
these subtopics.
apps.
Yeah, like subtopics within
Mhm.
dating. So definitely open to suggestions on that. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. Oh, Tinder date
Oh
just
no,
messaged you.
no,
Put
no.
that away.
Oh
Put
no,
that
gotta
away.
turn notifications off.
Yeah.
But I'll let you start. We're gonna flip a coin, but I'll let you start.
By
Letting you start,
okay. I got you.
I'm gonna ask you about this first phase you've written down here.
I'm scared.
I almost accidentally said the name of the person here.
Of course you did. I'm gonna do the same for you.
And I already forgot. Oh, okay. So we're going with a Star Wars theme.
Oh, this is why you wanted to start.
So Josh was talking to this girl, and I'll speak on your behalf, and I'll say she was a cutie. Her name was Chewbacca, a beautiful name for a beautiful girl. And tell me, so this is post college. Is there anything before college that is additional context that you think is important, or no?
We're talking, and we
Okay.
accepted that I was moving, and she.
Oh,
was
that's right.
okay
Okay,
with
yeah.
that.
So this is we touched on
Yeah.
this. Okay, that's right. I forgot that
We did talk about this a little bit
Mm-hmm.
before I moved. I was talking to this girl, and we accepted that I was going to move. She
Mhm.
was a little upset, but at the end, it is
Mhm.
what it was, and I wasn't gonna change that.
Mhm.
Um,
Now you moved.
and now I'm in Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? She only fell more and more in love with me.
Interesting.
I think it was due to distance. And we'll talk
Mhm.
a little bit more about that, I guess. But the more we were apart, like I would get phone calls from her. There's a lot of affection expressed. And there was like somewhat of a commitment on her end. It felt like. Because I remember one time she went out and she told me like, I don't remember what happened last night. I don't know what I did or who I may have interacted with.
Oh.
I was like, I'm totally okay with that. But if we were to be serious in any extent, that would make me a little uneasy.
Mhm. I guess
Is that just me?
no. I think you're totally justified there. I'm just confused by how she developed some sort of commitment. So I guess before you moving, it was not like that.
It wasn't.
At least from what you were.
We like towards the last 3 months or so that I was living there was pretty exclusive.
Mhm.
We were just seeing each other.
Okay.
I was still open to dating. We never had expressed commitments, and I
Mhm.
always made that clear too. We have no commitments here.
Mhm. That's good.
That's where the intentions were clear, and it was no issues with me moving outside of like what emotional like at that point like we kind of did like have some emotions at stakes there.
And do you like I it was just hard for me to wrap my head around then why she would get attached once you're already gone. But I guess it's like like the distance made her heart open up more.
Yeah,
I don't know, because it's like she's not seeing you in person, and like you
That's
didn't come
probably
back
what it
for
is.
a couple months, but it just seems so strange to me.
Well, there's always this idea, usually the other way around, say that you as the guy break up with the girl and you feel so happy those first couple days because you're finally free, right? This isn't any stories of mine.
Yeah,
I'm just saying this hypothetical.
yeah, I get you.
And so then 2-3 months down the line, they're depressed, they're sad because now their ex-girlfriend has moved on. They have done better, are doing better and bigger things. And they're happier now. And now the guy has like recessed back into wanting to go back into that relationship.
And that's like the ex-boyfriend then like texting the girls like months after they broke up, like wanting to get her back or whatever. Like after he's seen that she's moved on.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I think is happening here is now that I'm far away, well, because we aren't very close anymore. I'm not seeing her every day or frequently like I was
it's
before.
making her miss that.
It's missing that connection that we used to have.
So now, what do you have any issues with your relationship with her? Like what takeaways did you have from that interaction?
Yeah, well, there were a number of things that just didn't work well with me when talking with her, but perhaps before I even jump in there, we did begin to phase out a little bit because we started to lose commitments because we started seeing other people. We accepted that. We accepted that like she saw somebody else, I saw somebody else. We still talked with each other. But
and you were like just open about
we were just open about that.
Any interactions though, like any other interactions, would you like tell each other or just?
Yeah, she shared with me
Okay.
When she had sex with somebody else, and I did the same. We did not have any commitments going forward at that point. There was always still like a connection there. So we continued to talk. This is probably around like the fall of me living in Wisconsin. So fall of 2019.
A couple months already.
Oh yeah. Like we continued talking, man. But like nowhere from moving to Wisconsin did I not consider dating other people. I still had dating on my mind. Where I was swiping on Tinder, I was on other dating apps. I went on a few dates.
But I mean, I guess you could say she was one of the only like consistent things because it was like, yeah, those dates come and go, but she was like,
but at the same time, I wasn't seeing her because I was in another state.
Yeah, that's that too.
So, but we did phase away. We did phase away as the commitment, as we saw that we weren't committed enough to be able to just see each other exclusively at a distance. So that was that. And then when I moved back from Wisconsin, and I guess we can jump back into, no, I don't think we do. There's not much to really tell or dig into too much from Wisconsin dating. I think I've wrote a bit, and we can, you might be able to ask some questions from the prompt. But when I moved back, I started realizing how like the distance was a lot better for us because just so many things were surfacing up that was difficult to handle. For example, and I'm just going to reference my notes, although this should be fresh off my mind.
Oh, no worries.
Off the press from 2020. So one thing was conversations were always very one-sided. And this is not anything new because we were talking over the phone and everything. But I got to say, I moved back to New Jersey and I faced a lot of like issues with family, friends, and other things where I kind of just wanted somebody to talk to sometimes. And I don't feel like with the person that I spoke to the most at that time, her, I didn't have that outlet. So it was frustrating for me as looking to have somebody to have an outlet with that you would expect to have an outlet with. But then you get phone calls from this person and it's just the same thing over and over again. The same like conversations. So at some point that felt very one-sided and it frustrated me a lot. And I did address this with her. I did talk to her about this. There was an occasion where maybe I didn't handle this the right way, and I talked to you about this after the fact too. I don't feel like I handled this the right way, but I invited her over. We sat down, and I told her I don't like you anymore. I look back at this upset with myself because we talked about it where if there's issues, you want to proactively address it. You don't want to let it hold on up to that point where you still address it, but at the point where it's the ultimatum where you're just cutting things off. So that's where I am upset with myself, and I will like consciously try to avoid repeating similar mistakes in the future.
That was like the main thing you learned out of that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's reflective of my past relationship too.
You letting those things go on for too long.
Yeah, my long relationship of 6 years, like that last 3-4 months of the relationship, it was letting it drag on when things could have been addressed because there were issues there. But also like just the dynamic between us with how things worked, and like not being able to get that like emotional outlet sometimes was very draining. So I addressed all this, didn't work out, and then that was phased out of my she was phased out of my life from then.
Clean cut.
Yeah,
man, that's a tough ending for poor Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Yeah,
I did talk to her a little bit since, but it's not anyone I'm continuing to see or talk to.
Got it.
Yeah. So previously, John, you told us about when we were last in this room. You told us about a girl named Hot Carolina.
Carolina Pepper.
Yeah, we themed the names of John's ex-women after hot peppers, and that was Carolina. Now today we are talking in regards to Star Wars characters, so we'll start easy with her, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Okay.
Tell me about Baby Yoda. Well, what has happened?
I was gonna say point? Also, it's kind of cool. Both of the first like phases that we wrote are things that it was just they're like sub phases, I guess, that like existed that overlap with like the other ones, because like I'm about to talk about something that was going on, but like it overlaps with the second phase I'm going to talk about. So like it's exactly the same performance that we did. It's just we were going through very different stuff at the time.
I guess that's because we struggled so much with like trying to align with the college one, but this one meshed well.
Yeah, it meshed really well. I mean so I guess I didn't dive into it too much when we did the college dating thing. But I mean, the interaction with this Carolina Baby Yoda, little Baby Yoda, it ended right around the end of college. So that was like, I guess I've been reflecting on it a lot recently. I do remember being like pretty upset about it. But I mean, it wasn't really a long interaction to be like heartbroken about, but I feel like it was more, it became more of like a self-hatred, similarly to some of the stuff that we discussed before. So like in high school, I think we talked about it. We're like not feeling like I
had much value
returning back to that same like thought. And it was not a good time, like for me. And I guess context, like having graduated and I didn't have a job lined up, and I didn't really know what I wanted to. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know. I was applying to all different things, and I was still looking into like other options or like going back to school. So like it was just a very stressful time.
If someone asked you at this time, what are you planning to do? What's your response?
that would be so yeah, that was something that I really hated. And I remember going on like Tinder dates with people who were still in school, and hearing them like excitedly talk about like, oh, I'm majoring in this and I hope to go to law school and whatever, and then just like not wanting to even share like what was going on in my life, not really anything. And also like I guess it's like that feeling of like your train is like passed. Like it's like that feeling when you're in college when you're like excited about the stuff like that you're planning, like going to grad school or like getting a job in whatever field. But it's like, I guess I was in the phase where I'm supposed to be getting that, but I didn't have it. So I'm like, I remember feeling that excited, like feeling of like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And like nothing really went the way that I had planned.
You had the next step there, but you never took that step. And
Yeah.
So now you're in this space of like being a little lost.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, I don't want to get into it too much, but like mentally it wasn't like a good time. But then also this whole situation happening right before it, like just further added to like just like anxieties and like self-hatred.
Well, perhaps give a little context as to what happened with Baby Yoda again, because someone listening to this for the first time, they wouldn't understand.
She was someone that I spoke to like for a few months after, right before the end of college. And I guess if you watch the other episodes, like we talk a little bit about how I had a very like tumultuous experience like at the beginning of college, and then like going through times of not like dating, and then not being open to people, and then finally letting someone in, and then having that go terribly wrong. And never really experiencing that before, because I am a little boy. And I was a littler boy then. So this little baby Yoda was significant to me at the time. But it's one of those things where you reflect on like at certain times in your life, you put more importance on things that really don't matter. Or like you're caring more about things that now wouldn't really bother you. So there was a lot that I learned, like, I guess through that interaction with her. Because I never dated in that way, like a consistent, like we were going on dates like every other week, and like we were talking very frequently, and I didn't understand like what dating is now. I feel like I didn't really have an understanding. So like one of the things I wrote about is like learning about what like a talking stage is, because like I didn't really know. I heard it then, it's just I didn't know what it was, or like what quantifies people as just talking versus dating versus like just being casual.
Because
like,
at this point in your life, well, even to this point in your life, you haven't been in a serious relationship.
Past the step of like, let's say talking, like never past that step. So I guess not, and I guess at that point, let's say not having talked to somebody, like not being in that talking stage, then not knowing like what that is, or the difference between that and dating, and like thinking I guess we are dating, like not really knowing the,
I mean, there definitely still exists a huge blur between those phases for everyone,
and I think
like,
it's definitely a common issue.
Line exactly. But you, in your perspective, it was like second date. We're over that bridge.
Well, and I guess we spoke about it, but like getting a lot of pressure to like we were joking about it recently, but like on my second date with that girl, second or third date, I had asked her to be my girlfriend, but like out of the idea, because I thought that's what was supposed to. Because like let's say, especially at that point, I really didn't have like, I didn't make it to a third date. I would go on a date with someone, it would never get to a third date or get to a fourth date. So like just thinking like, well, this is the longest anything has lasted, so it might as well be my girlfriend.
Wow, done. Wow. But you had like good dates with her though. That was the thing.
And I think that was the thing that kind of like twisted the perception, like thinking
2 dates is enough.
But I don't want to rehash too much of
last episode.
But I just this. So I guess like I said, like similar to Josh, this time is just it overlaps with what comes after. So like this is like right after graduation, and throughout 2019 I'm experiencing this like sadness. Not only related to this experience with this girl, but also tying in like just stuff going on in my life. So kind of reverting back to some bad behaviors that maybe I have had. But I'll touch on that more when I get into my next phase.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So to bring it to you then.
Okay.
Because now, as you mentioned, you had this interaction with Chewbacca. But it's going on at the same time while you're in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So ignoring that whole, like, that going on, what's going on while you're, like, how's your casual, like, dating or just dating life in Wisconsin?
An utter failure. I remember there were good times where I would have great success on Tinder as far as setting updates. But then having the dates, it didn't pan out. Like you talked about, like you'll have 1 or 2 dates and then that was about it.
Yeah.
That was all I was getting. But the one that I vibed best with is one that I wasn't really attracted to too much at the end of the day. And I never continued talking with her after that. So that was the best date that I had up to that point where like actually we connected well to some extent. Now everything else was just a failure.
And were you just on Tinder or were you on like anything else or?
Yeah, I was on Tinder.
Let's list them out.
Hinge, Bumble, Plenty of Fish, Coffee Meets Bagel, Facebook Dating, and anything and everything else. Oh, Minder,
Grinder.
Yeah, Settle Curry Dating. My God, I was on everything.
I'm kind of curious. I'm looking through your notes, and I didn't see this before, but you have heinous acts in all caps.
I put this in.
I'm curious to dive into that. So, I guess tell me what were the heinous things that you were doing at this time.
Wait. Did you jump too much though?
I might have.
Oh yeah, because I did want to talk about this first. And we spoke about this personally. And I may have alluded to it a little bit in last episode where things just worked out well between me and Chewbacca. Where everything that I like, when everything went bad, I was able to make it right. When anyone would expect you wouldn't be able to draw somebody back in, I drew her right back in.
Wasn't it also because I do remember us talking about this?
Yeah.
It was like a lot of the behaviors that you had in your long-term relationship, and I guess you kind of touched on it. Like you guys were open about hooking up with other people, but the pitfalls that you had in a previous relationship, like you were not experiencing any of it in this
not at all. That was probably mostly because I like had my guard up,
kept the distance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I ever kept a wall or my guard up.
Yeah, but I guess just not letting it become serious.
I was just trying to clarify for what I said because I miscommunicated what I meant, because I definitely didn't keep a wall up. I was very vulnerable with the relationship. I was very open with things, but I also made it clear with the intent, like you said, that it wasn't serious. So 100%, you didn't say anything wrong. I was just clarifying what I was trying to say. So I thought like in a dating perspective, I had things going well for myself. Then when I went to Wisconsin and like I just said, Tinder was failing me. Talking to girls that I might run into in person was failing me. So things were not going well in the dating world. And that just started making me feel a little bit of a sense of like I just got lucky. And so now any success I would have, I would attribute to luck.
And that was like it subconsciously, like it was in the back of your head, like this might just be a fluke. It might not be a true.
And I was just like, it was like a self-defeating prophecy.
You got yourself in like a paradox and just like.
It was awful. It was awful. And this is what I brought up. We went on a date to New York City, me and you, on the train ride there. I don't remember what we were talking about, but dating to some extent. And you said something about me. You're sure that I've committed many heinous acts.
Oh, you're right.
That's where this came up from. That's
you're right.
When I was preparing these notes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's something that I think because we were talking about, I don't know if I mentioned some bad things that I've done, but it was just the thought because like at least the way that I view Josh, I'm like, you've probably done some heinous things, but you don't like remember, or like you're not actively thinking about it because like just knowing you, I feel like they're probably worth thing that you did, but it's like now like it's the last thing you're thinking about.
It's this idea that I'm very accepting with myself. I'm very comfortable with myself. And so there might be behaviors or actions I will do that might come across wrong to the other person. And it's a lack of perception there. So you challenged me. And I thought about it. I was like, let me actually try to like dive a little deeper here and see what I may have done that was heinous. Now I mean, I didn't like go into the deepest things where would be totally embarrassing for me. But I mean, I do remember one date that went particularly well. This was a girl that I met at the bar. First interaction, she threw it back on me. So great start.
Yeah.
Or maybe I pulled her towards me to throw it back on me, and like she was vibing with
This is a bar in Madison?
This is a bar in Madison. I'll take you there next week.
We're going to be there next week.
We're going to be there next week. By the time this episode comes out, it's like 2 or 3 weeks before now.
We would have already been there.
We would have already have been there.
Well, I had a great time.
So anyway, I on her way out from that bar, I pulled her towards me. Right, I stopped her before she left, because I just happened to see her before she left, and I just started chatting with her again. I don't remember what I said. I was probably a little fucked up, but at this time I said, "Oh yeah, like, do you have Snapchat or something? Just add me." And she was like, "Yeah," she was down with it. She was cool. We had she was definitely feeling it. So she took out her Snapchat. I'm like, "So you don't forget me." I took a picture of us. I gave her a kiss on the cheek in the picture, so she would have that as a memory. And so now, come the next day, I message her, and we set up a date. And we go out to a bar nearby, and it went really well. Like, she's a nurse. I was working at Epic. I know all about Epic and stuff like that. So, we were able to chat about that. We went from there to the other spot. So like much of the same first interactions that we had was repeated here on the second date. And then she actually came back to my place. But she lives like a 40-minute drive away. And so like I thought it was like a realistic expectation that she might spend the night. But she didn't drink too much, which is a good thing, which is 100% a good thing. But she didn't drink too much with the intention of ensuring that she could drive home, which is understandable. So I was happy to have her drive home. But I welcomed her in. She came in, and then I welcomed her to come into my room if she wants to. And she said, "Yeah, I'll come through. I'll lay down for a bit." And so like when she said I'll lay down for a bit, I thought that meant she wanted to stay the night. But she didn't.
She didn't want to. You mean?
Yeah, we tried.
But you kept her.
You say it in such a terrible way.
Like I'm accusing you. I'm sorry.
No.
This didn't happen.
No. I'll be clear with the facts. She laid down. I sat down next to her. Then we started making out for a bit. And I tried to undress her, but she wasn't feeling it. Because she wasn't trying to hook up on the first date. And so I stopped then, and we just lay back and we cuddle and we chat for a bit, and then like she leaves in like the next 10 minutes. So that's all. But I felt like it was heinous in the fact that I tried hooking up so quick when I could have gotten the read earlier that we weren't ready to hook up. I think I could have gotten that read much earlier. So there was that. And the other heinous act that I wrote down here was there was a date that I had. And I remember this one. Just reading it was going so wrong at this point. When I started talking about why I deleted Instagram, because guys are all about staring at beautiful, sexy women on Instagram. And she's like, "I think there's more of a purpose to Instagram than just hot girls and bikinis and stuff." And I was just trying to talk, you know, when you talk too much and you're only making yourself look worse and worse.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing at this point.
Okay.
Where I was trying to explain myself, like, no, that's not what I quite mean. I just mean that there is this this byproduct of like seeing all these girls that it makes the guys have too much in their head where it's just unhealthy for them. So the way I communicated it wasn't well, and the date did not go well after that. So that's about it. It was highness. It was highness.
Okay.
That's about all I have there.
That wasn't what I was expecting. I was gonna say you're not doing a good job at transitioning to the next person's thing.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to ask another question.
No, I think I did. I think my question was, is that it?
do you want to? Yeah, that's it. Okay, I got you, John.
I know, because I wasn't sure if it wasn't as heinous as I was expecting. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Yeah, I guess it's a good thing.
Or a bad thing on my part for not being honest enough with myself.
Well, I mean, maybe there's other things. It's just you don't view it as heinous.
No, I think I have a decent sense of highnesses.
Okay, I'm glad. You know the royal family.
So, we move on to you actually being a little more casual or intentional. I think we're on the intentional.
No, we're on casual.
We are? Oh, I closed up casual.
I have no idea why.
So tell me a little bit about what was going on with your dating apps. I told you a little bit of my failures.
Yeah. I found it funny when I saw yours. When I saw yours, I wanted to like copy the same thing because it was an utter failure for me too. And I think we connected on that a lot, like just dates that don't go anywhere, or like meeting people that you're instantly not interested with. Like I feel like there were a couple dates, and I think maybe we spoke about this, but it's like you're currently on a date with somebody, and in like while they're talking to you, like in my mind, I'm like, this is the last time I'm gonna see this person. And I don't mean that in like a mean way. Because it's not. I think it's a thing that anybody would think. I mean, obviously, this isn't something you should say, and I have never said it. But it's just like, maybe it's being too like quick to judge, or just. I mean, there are people that you just don't click with, and there are people that it's just like you can tell like, their goals in life are different. They're like, who they would be to like go out with is just not what you would want to. You don't want to do it. Like you don't want to hang out with them anymore. Like it's just not like fun or enjoyable to be around this person. And that's totally normal.
It's funny because like we're both having this bad time dating, and we weren't with each other.
No,
it's weren't. Like I would think two guys who are not doing well in dating spending more time with each other would only like amplify that. But perhaps we have a good connection here where when we are closer, we are talking.
That's true.
We are making ourselves better men.
I think we are. If I look at the dating histogram that we have created, we'll put it in the show notes. I think we can point to a point where you move back and both of our like dating successes go up. Anyways,
there's something to say here. There's
something there. But yeah, I mean, very similar to you. A lot of like one-off dates. And I guess tying it back to what I was going through at the time, I wasn't open to letting anybody. So I wasn't open to letting anybody in. Something I feel like I caught myself doing a lot, and I hinted at it when we were talking about Sam. Shout out Sam. We have to mention her in every episode.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Coronel's girlfriend.
Jonathan Coronel's girlfriend, Sam.
Yeah. Which Jonathan? Coronel. There you go.
Where I didn't talk enough, and I do like that was like a real thing where like I feel like I'd be on dates, and I would ask them about themselves. Like, it's not like I wouldn't talk, but I feel like I wouldn't I wouldn't share much.
Were you like consciously just trying to be a little more quiet because you didn't want to come across as a narcissist?
Not really. I think it's just like not viewing myself as interesting anymore. I don't know.
You were talking about like feeling like you lost value.
Yeah. So like if someone, let's say if someone asks like what you're doing for work or like what jobs you're applying to, be like a one-off answer, like, oh, I'm applying to like journalism jobs, like whatever.
I would say I'm a filmmaker.
I was not saying that at the time.
You just have to bullshit, man. Yeah, just say I'm a filmmaker.
But I mean, at the time, I didn't even view myself as that either.
Yeah.
So just random dates.
But then you did start seeing somebody?
I did.
And
kind of.
Can we give her a name?
Go for it.
Okay. Her name will be
Star Wars themed.
Yeah. Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Okay.
We got Darth Vader in the house.
That's kind of a mouthful. Vader. So Vader and I met also on Tinder.
Daddy
Vader. And I do feel like there was an instant connection. She was a very nice person. Someone that maybe at a different time I would have wanted to date. But like just given the context, like I don't know, I guess something changed that I wasn't really like looking for that. And this is like we started talking almost immediately after Sam.
Okay.
So my intentions, to be completely honest, was just to like hook up. Like I guess I was looking for some validation like after experiencing that, and also just feeling like low on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just wanted to feel I just want to hook up. Like it's like a lot of people.
It's a vanity metric, I guess.
Yeah.
Being able to have a body count.
I guess. I mean, I guess that wasn't really what I was thinking about, but I mean, it's part of it. And we did. Very soon into like hanging out, like maybe like the second like date.
This is somebody that you've told me the least about.
Yeah. Because I think I find it difficult to talk about it, and I guess I told you a little bit how like there's some things that it's hard for me to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This one especially because I want to, and I think I said in this college one, like I want to emphasize that I was not a good person, like the way I handled the situation. Because I wasn't very open, and I think this is stuff that we've spoken about before, but like I wasn't very open about what my intentions were.
Mm-hmm.
So given that we were going on dates, and we were going on dates and then having sex, but given that we were still going on dates, like it creates the view that this
could be something
can become something serious. And I should have just outright been like, it won't. Like
this is just
at least yeah, like unfortunately, like whatever I was going through at that time, I know that like I wouldn't have, like I just couldn't have. And that was unfortunate. But we were interacting for like, it was mostly the summer because she went to school out of state. I can't say where. She went to school out of state. So it was just like that summer of 2019 that we were like hanging and banging.
Okay. When she wasn't in state. I mean, when she was in state, away from
yeah, because she was home for the summer.
Where from?
You cannot say.
Indiana?
No, yeah, Indiana.
No,
okay. From the Death Star, actually.
There we go. Darth Vader's coming from the Death Star.
I thought that was open.
No, we're good.
And I guess I touched on it with like the random dating, but she had opened up to me about a lot of things. And then that's where I started feeling really bad, because I guess I could see it was getting to the point where maybe she was feeling comfortable to tell me certain like things going on in her life, whatever. But I was not opening up. And and it was very one-sided. Like it was one-sided. I guess it was similarly to your interaction with Chewbacca, where when we would talk, like she would unload all these things, and I didn't one feel comfortable like telling her, and I also just like didn't like want to. But
I mean, if she showed a Karen side,
You still wouldn't open.
I just
See, so that's like the difference
yeah,
between me and Chewbacca and you and Darth Vader.
where you I guess you made it clear though.
I was no, yeah, perhaps it was clear with the intentions that we were casual, or that we didn't have a commitment, but I meant it was in terms of our interactions, I was open. I wasn't holding back my cards.
Yeah.
I wasn't keeping a bridge.
Mhm.
I mean, I wasn't keeping a wall up.
Yeah.
I built the bridge.
Yeah.
So ensure like
Built the
anything, anything she wants to share, I'm more than happy to listen to. And I did, in the case like I needed it, like want somebody to have to listen to me as well, or have someone to talk to. I mean,
Yeah, but at least like for me, I definitely had a wall, and it's something I still feel bad about even now. th- it didn't end in any bad way. Like it
Mhm.
didn't, let's say, escalate to a point where she had like confessed like feelings or whatever, and I had to like reject it or whatever. But we did have like conversations eventually about like what we were looking for, and then it was like established. But it was still that feeling of like this conversation maybe could have happened like a little bit before.
for how long along the line was this? I mean,
This was you could say like till like August or whatever, like
starting when?
starting in May.
Starting in May from college.
Yeah.
So
And maybe even before, if we're counting like when we matched on,
Okay,
on
yeah,
whatever.
that's
but yeah,
fine.
but yeah.
May
Because
to August, this
yeah.
whole time, just going on dates, hooking up, and you had the intent that this was casual. You weren't anything serious with her, and she was opening up more and more to you up until this point where she finally breaks that conversation.
Yeah, and it was like, I guess yeah, it was her that asked, because I think she was curious, like what like we were talking about the other day, like at what point do you ask like what are we? And I guess it got to the point for her where she just genuinely wanted to know, because it's like we're hanging out. I mean, we're not hanging out like every single weekend. It was very like random, because I was not like trying to make it like consistent. I mean, I guess it was both.
You
both
didn't
sides.
want it to be too comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't view it as dating.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of what you communicated.
I guess through my action, but yeah, and then when I
When you
actually
had the
spoke to-
conversation,
yeah,
when you had the
had
conversation.
that's what I communicated.
And how was it received?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it was received like
Fine?
she was accepting. Like it was like,
Okay.
okay, I understand, but I think I had the lingering feeling of I can tell like
Was there damage? You
yeah,
think there was damage?
yeah, like not probably not in any like significant way, but it was just like I said, like it could have been something that I should have said earlier.
Because it was like a 3-month investment
Yeah.
at this point.
And I think that whole issue with being honest with people about intentions, I think we've had long conversations about that, about something that's like that I have a problem with, something that even happened in college, like not being able to be honest about like intentions. So going into, I guess, coming out of that interaction, the main like takeaway I guess I had was like wanting to make an effort to truly be like honest to people, only because I was feeling bad about it. Like it was
carried
like
a lot of
affect-
guilt
yeah.
after
Yeah.
that experience.
So having that, I was like, I don't wanna do that again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably did after that. Like maybe not as consistently, but there probably were people who I should have just honestly had said like, I'm not interested in
Anything serious with
yeah,
you?
and really for no reason, like because It's like,
sometimes it's like where you are in life.
yeah. And I guess what we touched upon like before is like, actually I didn't mention this at the post college thing, but like at this time, having to apply to jobs or whatever, and I think it's like something similar to you, like with what you were going through, which we're gonna get into next.
Yeah.
But like you get this feeling of anything that you invest time into is like a waste of time if it's not for this one thing that is the most important thing. And what I wrote down in my notes is like that's what my thoughts were, but it was wrong because it's like you're not going to spend 7 days a week 24 hours applying to jobs. It's impossible, and if you do, it's kind of a waste of time. But realistically,
it has the reverse effect where like you just overwhelm yourself and you burn out.
And realistically too, that's not where all your time is going into. But it's like having this feeling, a major feeling I was having at this time is like any investment into AlzateFilms, which I think we talked a little bit about this in AlzateFilms, of like investment to AlzateFilms, investment into trying to date people, just felt like it was taking away from figuring out my life, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, and when you're in that slump, it like you only feel it more. It's only amplified.
Yeah, and it's just like piling on, like just it's also, I guess, taking you out of these certain moments. Like you could be on a date, you could be out with your friends, you could be trying to pursue like a hobby you like, but you have that thing in the back of your head. It's like, I need to figure this out. I need to like.
You're not able to focus on other things and appreciate or value other things.
Yeah, so that was like a big thing that was going on for me at this time.
You struggled with that relationship.
And I guess this casual dating thing, I guess the last thing to touch on, like it continues, like just going on random Tinder dates, like up until COVID, and then it's just like a pause because of COVID. So like, I don't know if I went on many dates. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I mean, if we're talking now, but I mean, I guess like immediately starting COVID, like 2020 COVID, maybe a few dates towards the end of 2020, but all very casual.
Well, what about between August to 2020 or August to March?
August to March, I think still just Tinder dates.
Okay.
And just nothing
really coming out of it. Okay.
There is, I'll cut this out of the podcast, but that's when I'm talking to people I shouldn't be talking to. Oh, like bringing back old relationships. Yeah.
Got you. You heard it here first.
We cut something out, and that was my secret. Calling it back to the start.
Thank you for sharing, John. Anyway,
so I teased it.
You did.
I was struggling to find a job. We did an episode about you getting fired.
Ouch.
And you're coming back home in the middle of a pandemic.
All burnt up.
But what's going on in your dating life at that time?
Yeah, that's the thing. So before I left Wisconsin, right before I left, I actually spent the night with somebody. Yeah. Out of all times, it's like, now that I have the thing to say on my bio, or perhaps a conversation point that I'm leaving soon, it makes you all the more valuable, I guess. It's because you're like fleeting.
Yeah.
You can only purchase, it's a limited time item. That's what I was. I was a limited time item at this time. And so the buy-in value was high. Yeah. And so somebody invited me over and I spent the night with her.
Wow.
We didn't hook up or anything. But it was a genuine time. It was a good time. We chatted for most of the night and we just cuddled.
Is she available next week?
Oh, actually after that, we were going to have a follow-up. She called me. No, I messaged her. And she was delighted, saying like, "Oh, if you didn't message me by Monday, I was going to remove you from Bumble."
What?
And I'm like, well, like I said, I was going to message you. I just didn't want to be too prompt about it.
Yeah.
So we FaceTimed or something and we planned a date by Friday. But she was very overwhelmed and worried about COVID because this was the start of COVID, which reasonably so. It's not a great thing to date during COVID. And so she promptly unmatched me like the middle or end of that week before the date saying, "Oh, actually, I don't want to get COVID. Talk to you later. Bye bye."
Oh, okay. So
And
I
then
guess
like she was
not,
gone.
She's not available for me.
Yeah, so I don't have the contact, man. I would try for you, but not this time, not this round. So
So now you're back home.
I'm back home. COVID's going on. It is April. So it is towards the peak, especially in New Jersey. So I'm not interacting with anyone. I'm not even interacting with you. The first time I saw you was in a Target 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were very distant.
I had blonde hair. I don't know if I showed you my hair
yeah.
at Target, but I had blonde hair when I met with you at Target.
Yeah, I remember you having blonde hair. It was a short thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, and it continued that way. It continued that way for like the year to come. Just not much activity. I do remember having like one FaceTime call with a girl to have like a virtual date. I had a few other dates lined up that just continued to fall through. But that was about it. Like the focus wasn't there, and a lot of things that I really struggled with at this time was the fact that I didn't have a job at this moment, and this is what you were alluding to. I got fired from my last job. I, for a time being, applied to other jobs in the biomedical engineering practice because that was my degree. But then I decided I wanted to move away from that and move into data science. So I went through a certification program. So at this time, I continue to live not at my parents' but at home. I mean, at an apartment. And I'm paying bills without having a source of income coming in. But unemployment kicked in.
Yeah.
It took a while. Unemployment did not get to me until October or November even. Because like New Jersey, with everyone going on to unemployment, it was awful. But I did get a big check at the end of the day. And then when taxes came, first $10,000 was untaxed. So boy, that was a nice payday at the end of it. So it's worth getting fired sometimes is my takeaway here. But it's not a good it's not a great thing when it comes to dating. Girls do not. It takes away from your sexual market value. You girls do not. I struggled with that, I guess is what I would say when I was speaking with girls. If that conversation were to come up, I would have to draw back to that. I'm going through a certification. I wouldn't talk about getting fired. And then there was a time period from September until the end of December. I was a high school teacher. And that only did it worse. When
you think that would turn people away?
Yeah, I think that only made it worse. I think it was as awful as it sounds, and this is not why I loved being a high school teacher. But as awful as it sounds, girls would prefer you to be unemployed than a high school teacher.
Jesus. Oh man.
Okay, that's my hypothesis. But I do remember multiple occasions talking to girls on Tinder, on Bumble, on Hinge, and the question comes up, what do you do? I teach. I would try to make it sound better than what it was by saying I teach engineering and computer science. I still say that. But they're like, oh, that's cool. Where do you teach? At high school. Never get a response back after that. Never again. So many girls stopped responding to me just because of that. Look at me now. I'm just playing. So that was my biggest struggle. That was my biggest struggle during this time, and that's why it was just a very
dry period.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a drought. It was a drought.
I think it was like that for many people. But I guess you had some life circumstances that only made it worse.
Yeah.
That only made it worse.
Yeah. Did I have any other points? I think that was primarily it.
Oh, and that we were spending a lot of time with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I agree. Most of our time outside of working, we were just hanging out, but at your apartment, with our friends. Or having parties. And it's not like parties where girls that we could date are going to.
Yeah, it was just the people that we were hanging out with were hanging out with us.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So let's draw it back to you.
All right.
I don't know what we're talking about with your life, but I think at this point you start to be a little more intentional.
Yeah. So what I mentioned about reflecting on not being open and honest. I started to want to actively maybe I had told you about an interaction I had that was like this, but there was an interaction I had with a girl where right from the start I made it clear that I wanted it to be casual. And that was accepted and whatever. And like it didn't like it wasn't a long lasting like situation, but at least like I was happy like okay, I'm saying it from the start and then like not making it clear. Something that maybe I should have done like before in a lot of other situations.
Laid here. Good job. Good job, John. Good job.
That's what we all need. Like encouragement from our friends.
Validation. Words of affirmation.
That's my love language.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So if you're a girl who hates words of affirmations, which there are quite a few. The girl that I'm seeing now, actually, she says that.
Who's that?
Out of
Kendall?
Yeah, exactly. Kendall Jenner. You're seeing her sister or something like that, isn't that right? So she says, out of the 5, that's at the bottom. If I find out that you like words of affirmation, I'm dubbing you.
Really? Wait. Oh wait, so she doesn't like giving words of affirmation.
Yeah, so she's not a big giver with that.
You know, I struggle with that. Like I struggle with that. Maybe we could talk about this in another episode. But really quick, like I also. But it's not hers is more in a mean way because it seems like she just doesn't want to say nice things. But for me, it's like sometimes I feel like awkward, and it's also like I haven't had a relationship where I'm like, oh hey baby, but like let's say if it's just like a random girl, it's like it's hard for me to be like hey babe, like saying the word babe is just it comes out feeling wrong. Like it shouldn't come out of my mouth. Or like baby girl. Like
no,
it just doesn't sound right.
I just throw babe in there.
Babe, yeah, and I use well,
you used it recently.
Let's not get into it. But wanting to be a little more intentional became towards the end of 2020 and up to now something I'm actively trying to reinforce.
Okay.
I am now remembering some so most of COVID, like you, not really going out, but it's also because of COVID, like you don't really, or people don't want to meet up with random strangers. There was, and you probably remember this, there was like a girl who I went on a so our friend group had like back-to-back COVID scares around November. Do you remember? It was like Halloween, and then like the next week was my birthday. There was a COVID scare like right after
your birthday. Right after your birthday.
And right before my birthday, because my birthday was we were able to hang out right after like a 2-week hiatus of not hanging out.
Oh, that's right.
And then we had my birthday party. Boom, another COVID scare, and then we didn't see each other for like another 2 or 3 weeks. And it was a period of our friend group not seeing each other, but also like there was a girl that I went on a date with and it went really well, and then we had all these back-to-back COVID scares where like I didn't see her and like I just like stopped talking to her. Mostly my fault for not trying to continue talking.
Is this the one that you recently started going on dates with again, or like a month or 2 back?
No. This was there were 2 girls where it was the COVID scare situation. I had the actual when I actually had COVID.
You never actually went and saw. Okay.
No. Well, we had one date and then we didn't see each other because of the COVID scares we were having in the fall. Okay. But then the same thing happened come February when my family got COVID. There was a girl that we were talking, but I couldn't see her because I had COVID. And then we eventually did go on dates.
Okay.
But yeah, more intentional dating. I guess now that we're getting into this year, that's when I guess there was a girl that I went on a couple dates with. I don't really want to talk about too much. I don't think she deserves it, but I guess I'll talk about it.
I don't know what you're gonna talk about.
Talk about red flags. She's the one that she had the same birthday.
She had the same birthday as Carolina.
She had the same
new name was. Oh, Baby Yoda.
She had the same birthday as Baby Yoda, Carolina. And the situation went the exact same way, except I understood what it was, and I like it didn't really bother me like how it ended up, because I was more just like understanding that it was an honest situation where we were like I knew what her intentions were and like my intentions were clear. because she was also out of state, kind of.
Okay.
And with the idea of that she would probably go back, and like whatever dating she's doing now is just like until she goes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, that situation isn't that like important, but that situation and any other dates I've been having now, I've been trying to be honest. Am I doing it? Yes. For the most
For the most part.
For the most
It
part.
seems like you're doing well. It seems like you're doing well.
I'm doing better.
Yeah. I mean, and girls are hitting up your line, so definitely doing better.
I don't know about that. But
I will say, like, the first time that I started thinking about intentional dating was when somebody brought it up to me for the first time in a while, in one of my recent dates, maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, one of the 4. And so that was a question that just popped up, and I was like, you know what? I really have to start asking that question more. Just like, what are your intentions here?
Yeah.
Because it's important to establish in the beginning, because it just makes it clear and comfortable.
Yeah, because it's like we touched on it earlier, but it's like it's easy for either side to just not understand and like just get mixed up, because like you might think it's more serious, and it's there's a lot of gray area that it's hard to really like.
And not only that, I think girls are just generally more okay with going on a date now, just by having that understanding. And being on, like, if you share intentions,
because at least they know.
Well,
And I guess the thing I didn't really even touch on is like I'm calling this, I guess what I'm in now, like intentional dating, because I'm trying to date with intent, like with intention, like not with
oh, that's right.
with
that's
the so I guess
we've been talking about intentions very much with the prospect of it being casual.
Yeah, but this is also like my intentions of what the relationship is going to be. So I do want to have a serious relationship. So I'm not just dating like randomly. I'm intentionally I mean, I'm not gonna like right out the gate tell somebody like, oh,
I want something serious with you.
But let's say if it's something that I know won't, let's say they maybe make it clear they're like unavailable or whatever, like emotionally unavailable to like seriously date. I'm like, okay, but I don't really want to waste time anymore, because that's something that I've been like thinking a lot about. Where like casual dating's fine, but also like I haven't had a serious relationship.
So let me ask you, if you talk about intentions and she comes and you tell her, hey, I'm looking for something serious, and she says she isn't, that's something that you'll quickly dismiss then?
I think,
or you would just quickly dismiss her.
I mean, I guess I luckily haven't had a situation like that yet, because this is still something that, like, a little newer. But I think maybe it's more like not putting too much value into the interaction with this person. So if it's someone, let's say the girl that I spoke about earlier, where she was gonna go back to school, I didn't immediately cut her off knowing that nothing would happen from that. But I wasn't like I wasn't putting any like thought into my interaction with her becoming anything more. Like I was still focused on like I will still talk to other people, still with the mindset of if I meet someone that it could become something serious, then like that would be what I would,
Okay, so let me describe myself then, where in my intentions, I am, when I start talking to somebody, if I see that it's going to be casual, or if they express that they rather keep it casual, then I'm okay with it being casual. But the goal still is to have a serious relationship. And so if you find, well, you're just going on these dates to find that serious one.
I guess it's two things, like being open to it.
Open to what? Something serious?
And like opening up, like instead of what I was talking about before, like not opening up, like actively trying to if someone is interested in me, let that in.
So I'm trying to find where we might differ, or if we completely align here. If there are things that you would find as flags to be a serious relationship, but something that could still be casual if they're open to it, would you keep things casual with them, or is that something that you will draw a stop to because of the red flags?
I think I would keep it casual, but I think, let's say, think about this. You're talking to two people. And the girl that's casual wants to meet up on Friday, but the girl that you see potential in dating and wants something serious wants to see you on Friday too. I would put more value in the girl that wants something serious.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think we're
Okay.
almost exactly the same.
Yeah, 100%. I would do the
So
same.
I think more so now it's like being conscious of how I'm prioritizing like who I'm seeing and who I'm like spending time with. Because if I know it's just like it's not gonna go anywhere, like I'm fine with it. Like I'm not gonna like never talk to you again, just because you say you don't want to date me.
Yeah.
But I won't prioritize you as much, let's say, in like in dating, like if
because you see her in that casual zone rather than
so
the
you would
actual
be
serious.
you'd be in that zone where if you want to meet up and I'm not doing anything, or if I'm horny or whatever, like whatever, but not, I guess, consciously trying not to waste too much time on that either, because like reminding, I guess especially for me, like I said, like it's time that I
start actually dating.
And I guess it's a tough thing, like, because I guess people say like you shouldn't, when you actively are looking for it, well, that's when like it's harder to find that.
Well, that's why I think this is a okay approach,
because
you're
now
so
I'm like
accepted.
I'm okay to anything.
You enter in not knowing.
But I think it's just, I guess, being a little more conscious of who I'm spending my time with, like, you know, like not divulging too much and just like
you're not throwing all eggs into one basket. You're still keeping the casual prospects around, and the prospects that can be potential in an actual relationship is what you would focus more on or prioritize rather.
So I think definitely in a healthier spot, because you're here. Because when as soon as you came back, something changed. But I mean,
but I think I've been thinking very much the same recently, and I think this probably does. I think there's actual truth to that statement.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say.
Because we are talking about it actively, and because we're talking about it, like this is something that I'm thinking about. This is something you're thinking about. This is probably why we agree on the topic so much right now.
We talk about dating so much is because we like have very similar opinions. Maybe now. That's exactly what I was gonna say. And having someone to talk about, dating about is important, I think. Whether it be like a friend or a sibling or maybe a parent. You probably don't want to share everything with a parent, but I do think it's good to get other perspectives, because let's say in some of our different pitfalls that maybe we talked about like leading up to this, we didn't, like you mentioned, you didn't have someone that you felt you could open up to maybe when you were talking to Chewbacca. I wasn't really opening up to many people about what I was going through either. So you get locked into those behaviors and you're not having someone challenge you. So like, I think it's important, especially when you're so close to somebody, which is what I value about you the most, not to get sentimental, but having someone that challenges the way, like why you're thinking something. Because then if it's someone you're comfortable with, you're not taking it in a bad way. You're actually considering like why I'm considering like your opinion instead of just like dismissing as like, oh, this is a random person critiquing me.
Which is it's great to hear. It's great to be able to now see this like actually come to where it is, because we are seeing like significant improvements, incremental improvements,
which is good. And I guess on that note, we've kind of wrapped up the history.
The history part. It was to be done at like the 30-minute mark, I think.
We blasted through it. So I guess question for you, Josh.
Yes.
I want to hear your thoughts on this. We just finished our dating history. Do you think it would be worth doing an episode solely on what we're looking for and like dating challenges?
So like keep it for another episode?
Because people love the dating stuff. Or we can add another hour to the hour run we have.
I will say, I'm so excited to talk about the dating process. I mean, where we are now, what we're looking for, and the challenges as to getting there, and like red flags and all. I do have to pee.
I'm pretty sure that's how the last episode, one of us had to pee.
Last time it was you. No, 100%. It was 2 episodes ago, but we filmed in the same day.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh my god. That was. Oh my god. That was terrible. Oh my god. All right. Yeah.
Back.
I think because we're right about the time of a regular episode.
Yeah, and I think we closed it well.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna like make that proposal,
Yeah.
but I'm so happy you did.
But until I think it clicked for me too when we tied the knot with like realizing that having a good friend really helps you be a better person. So I encourage everybody to watch our podcast. Because we'll be your friends.
We're here to listen. Like, we have the inbox open for you.
Mm-hmm. And fuck, like, people you know from high school, people you met in college, your parents, your sister, your cousins, your dogs.
John, these people
I'm
might
your
be
friend.
No, these people might actually have valuable friendships outside of
but not as valuable as your old pal Johnny and Joshy coming into your ear. This
I mean,
is a real fucking friendship.
For them to listen in for over an hour,
there's
definitely some friendship.
There's some friendship there,
but
one-sided too. Like to listen,
just we were talking
people talk and not butt in. It's wild.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, guys.
I value you so very much. We love you so much.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm excited to touch on the other stuff. I think we could easily do a full episode just on what we're looking for and challenges. So I think it's perfect to save for another episode. So we will call this Dating Since College. Our next episode, Dating Now.
Dating now.
Just dating now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, like, going forward, we are wrapping this dating history up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone has dating stuff they want to talk about, feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
Dating stories, dating histories, dating experiences, dating takeaways.
And something we spoke about, if you guys are interested, is maybe we'll do polls on Instagram or something on our private, our individual Instagrams, to get people to submit questions, like dating questions they might have, and just do an episode like
exclusively on
going through questions. That might be cool, like a dating Q&A kind of thing.
And if you have any new ideas for us too, because it's just the two of our minds. If you have any ideas of anything we've talked about and you've been listening in, and anything really sparked your interest and you think we can talk about it at length, feel free to let us know. Like, we're happy to listen. We're happy to like take your ideas and use them and like steal whatever business entrepreneurial ideas you might have to make money. We're gonna take your money.
Like, we want you guys to make the content for us. So if you give us stuff, it saves us from doing the work. Like if they're giving us questions, soon we might ask you to just send us recordings of you asking a question. So we can just play. We can have an episode where we just back to back just play recordings and we don't speak the whole episode.
Yeah, and we also take free scripts for podcasts.
Oh, we could do a scripted episode.
Yeah, just send us a script and we'll read it off for the whole episode.
I'll just get the music going because I know you have to pee.
Yeah, I have to pee.
You
probably have some important stuff to do.
Yeah, I have a hard stop at 10. Trying to go out with Kylie
for brunch.
Brunch with Kylie, baby.
Brunch with Kylie.
What has it been, like a week or 2 weeks of being married?
Oh, wait, actually, just to wrap up, and that's how you make $1 million in 6 days.
Well, I'm glad that the people learned what they came to learn, because I think they came for that. Thanks for watching the We Should Talk More podcast. I have been John.
And I'm Josh.
You can find us on
shouldtalkmore.com,
where all of our
social media
are. Jeez, you're gonna make me pee. We are best co-hosts. Thanks for watching.
We're two lifelong friends who, with not much in common, try to get a little more intimate.
Try to get a little more intimate. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, try and get
a little more close.
Intimate.
Okay, goodbye, guys.
Yeah, I'm a piss. No, actually, cut that last part off. It sounded really creepy.